What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Motorfest. So in this video I will be looking at the Chevrolet Chevelle SS. I actually love this car in real life, and I was kind of surprised to see this thing actually show up in Motorfest. So it's always going to be a great thing to see when a new vehicle does show up. But nonetheless, guys, the first thing I have to do is to jump right into the customization of this car. So the first things first here is to change the color. So this is red, kind of like that. I have to admit, white is looking pretty nice, and or this dark blue here. Also, this gray one. I do believe there's actually a gray one like this where I live, and it looks insane. My goodness. Gotta love the Chevelle SS. I feel like I'm basically in a Fast and Furious movie looking at it, but for me, guys, I'm probably gonna go with the white color here. Let's move over to the visual parts. Oh, there's 7 other ones. Okay, so there's a second one. Like inward vents, I'm guessing that is. Then we have the carbon fiber. Looks kind of cool. I do like the way that looks. It's almost like a matte type of like aluminum type of finish, I would say. Maybe. And then we also have the other vent. That one looks nice. Then we have, oh, we have the blower, which actually makes sense. Really brings out like the Fast and Furious vibes there. I'm going to have to go with this one, though, because it looks so dang good on this car. But moving over to the front bumpers, the darker pieces around the headlights. Yeah. Then we have, what is that? Looks like a spider. Yeah, some of these front bumpers are definitely not it, but let's keep moving down the list here. So we have this one. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. I like that. Kind of fits like the top of the hood a bit. Then we have some weird looking ones afterwards, guys. Not really feeling the way these actually look with this car. Like, not really liking that. That just does not look right. I'm sorry. And then moving back over, I do like the front like painted bumper. That does look good, but for me, I'm probably going to go with this one. That way it actually adds like the darkness of the headlights matching like the car, and then you have like the dark, I believe that's a splitter, I think. Also kind of matching like part of the hood. So that does look pretty dope. But moving over to the fenders, so you can dechrome it. Alright guys, serious debate. Do you like chrome on vehicles or not? I feel like it's a very interesting topic because some do. Is that a wide body kit on a Chevelle? Surprisingly, the fitment on that is way better than I thought. Like, I thought the fenders would be, like, sticking out way too much, but that honestly does look pretty dang good. So for me, I might actually have to... That also takes off the lights on the side, too. That actually looks kind of cool. Alright, guys, let's take the chrome off of the vehicle and then, I guess, basically leave it like that. But for the rims, I will most likely leave the Chevelle rims on here. I do like the way these look. And then, of course, all of the rims, if you guys are wondering, are indeed from the Crew 2, so they're not technically going to be new, and I do think we can agree some of these do not look that great. But moving over to the next part is going to be the caliper color. So for this, I thought about going with red and then moving over to the mirrors. So there's the first one. Then we have those in black. Let's go with that there. Kind of matches like the front splitter. Then skirts. Yeah, how about no? Then we have the rear fenders here. So that removes the chrome piece on it. Then we have, it's like a darker kind of top. Don't really like how that looks. I don't know. I'm not really sure if I like how that looks on there. Then we have a wide body kit, which really does not look bad on this car. That's insane. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a wide body Chevelle before, so that would be a new thing. Let me know if you guys have ever seen a wide body Chevelle in real life. That would be a crazy looking vehicle, but for me, I do have to remove the chrome on this. Moving over to the wings now, so here's the first one. Kind of like a small duck lip. And then we are going to have this weird looking wing on the back, which I'm not really feeling this. Maybe on like a similar car like a Daytona 500, but not a Chevelle to be honest on there. And then we also have this wing. Because we totally need downforce, said no one ever, right? So for that, guys, I'm probably going to go with the small duck wing on there, even though that one does look kind of, I'm not sure if that fits the car. Like, does it actually belong on the back of this thing? I don't think so. I don't think so. Honestly, it kind of looks good without anything on it. How about we leave the spoilers off? Moving over to the rear bumper. So there's 20 of these now. So we have the regular taillight. So this is the regular one here, if you guys are wondering. So we have this one. That is actually kind of cool. The dual exhaust. Let's add that to it. Then we have, yeah, those just don't really fit the car that well. It's not a JDM. Not really. Or like a big, like, I guess Challenger or something might make more sense. Or maybe a Mustang. But I don't know about this. Then we have those. Kind of interesting looking. That is carbon too. That's carbon. Yeah, how about no? Then we have these. Ooh, that's okay. Yeah, that's the one. Always buying parts before I don't actually see them is a great way to waste money. Remember that. And then we see this. Changes the tail lights. I don't like how those tail lights look either. Those big exhausts I just don't think fit the car that well, to be honest. But besides that, guys, that will basically do it for the rear bumpers. I mean, there's not that many of them that look great. And I have to admit, by the way, guys, I do like the way some of these taillights look, but not it with these. I mean, those are okay, not really. I feel like a modern type of look on like a classic car can look good, at least depending on how it's done. But yeah, those are not it. Moving over to the interior, the first one is going to be red, which looks insane with this car being white. So you know I have to do that, but should we keep the entire thing red? That might be kind of overdone. Let's see what else we can do here. So we have the stitching, kind of makes like the seats red. Have to admit, this one looking pretty cool. Let's go to the next thing. Nice interior. Oh, here's the middle cluster. See, carbon fiber would be part of that where like you'd have like a modern type of build to that vehicle, but I'm not really sure if I would do that. Would I do that? That also makes, am I imagining things, or is it just like the glare from that? Yeah. So I thought like the middle part down there changes, but it's just like the front of it being like super bright. So for me, guys, I will go with the carbon fiber. Kind of gives it like a modern look, but you know, looking at the Chevelle right now, guys, I have to admit I love the way I actually did make this car look. Now, it's not like overdone and or looks kind of insane with like a crazy wide body, which honestly might look pretty good. I do like the way that hood looks with like the car being white and or like the red interior and or like the red seats. I feel like if the entire interior was red, it probably wouldn't look that great, but my goodness, I'm really digging this car. But without further ado though, let's go do an outside look of this car right now and also take this thing on a quick top speed test. We are now outside, guys, here with the Chevelle SS. Now, I am currently under a gas station. That way there is more light because, you know, it is kind of dark out right now. And they absolutely killed the way this game looks with, like, the lighting. But looking at this thing under a gas station right now, guys, look how great this car does look in white. By the way, if you did want to, you can add, like, window tints and stuff in the vanity section. You know, I really don't know how the AI actually drive in this game. Like, I have noticed, guys, many of the cars tend not to turn into, like, roads right, or maybe they try to, like, U-turn in the middle of the said road for that matter. But besides that, though, the Chevelle SS really is going to be a great-looking car under this gas station. Like, I love the overall detail and modeling of the vehicles in this game. They are beautiful. Do keep in mind, by the way, guys, I'm pretty sure this car is exclusive to the Season Pass at the moment. But I'm pretty sure in the future you can most likely get this car later on. But overall, not only is the Chevelle looking insane, listen to this engine. And then, of course, moving over to the interior, it's kind of, I don't have a timer in this car because I don't think cars back then had timers. Many of the other vehicles do have timers in them to tell you what time it actually is during the day, but I'm going to take a random guess and say sunrise is upon us here. But overall, though, guys, look at the classic interior in the Chevelle. Like, this thing looks great. For some odd reason, I do love the way these old cars look. Like, there's a lot of detail to them, and you really can see how cars have evolved, and I do feel like in both ways it can be good and or bad, but I do like the way the carbon fiber in this thing looks. Plus, you also see, like, the red part on the seats, and you see like the SS on the side there. So I do love the way the interior looks, and of course I would say the back seats also have detail, but I really do have to give it to them, guys. Not only do these cars look great, they really do have a ton of detail. And one thing I found kind of funny about the Chevelle, guys, I was looking for a gas lid for this car and I was massively confused, not realizing it's in like the rear. That is going to be pretty insane. Also, can we appreciate the detail of houses? Look how you can see like the siding of the house plus like these solar panels and stuff. I love that. But look at this lighting though, guys. It's insane. Anyway, though, let's go drive this car here. So it is indeed a 4-speed. Nice acceleration. Oh, listen to that engine. Now, I'm not really expecting this car to be like a race car style of handling, but I would like to see it be pretty decent, I guess, so to speak, you know, compared to something else. But let's see what we can do here. So getting onto the highway with some nitrous. That car has some death wobbles going on. I guess a lot of these vehicles hit a pothole like a Jeep and most likely started having death wobbling. I have noticed that with some vehicles. Oh, look, there's another one. Okay, I was kind of going the wrong way there, so I do want to go back onto the highway this way and or encounter more vehicles that are indeed death wobbling. But hitting the nitrous right now, guys, one thing I noticed right off the bat, 190 miles an hour. Now, I did take out like the Honda Civic Type R Fitted Edition. That car also hit around 190 going down a hill, so I'm going to take a wild guess and say most of these Street Tier 1s tend to do around 190, similar to like how the Street Tier 2 does around like 235 to like 238. So I really do have to admit it. I like the way they have the balancing of these cars set up, and the Chevelle's obviously going to be no slouch. And even being a 4-speed, guys, this car really did get up to speed quick, and you can kind of tell how like it didn't really struggle or have any issues. But look at this vibe in this car in first-person mode, guys. Look how nice this looks with the lighting. I really have to give it to Ubisoft with Motorfest. Like, I know there's some issues and stuff going on with the game, but my goodness, it is so dang fun to play. In the lighting, the cars, the sounds, the handling. There's also a lot to do. I cannot wait to see where this game goes, guys. But nonetheless, though, let's go jump into a race right now and test out this car a bit more. Now, for the Chevelle, guys, I had to jump into the Jackson V8 race here to really see what this car can do around like a small circuit. Of course, going over uneven ground with like the curbs and all that and stuff. And I'm also going to be level 5 with the difficulty, so I would expect at least one of the AI to be insanely fast compared to the others, and we will definitely keep an eye out for that. I would most likely say it's going to be James. He's probably looking like he's a bit quicker, but overall first impressions of this car so far, guys, I have to admit, I am liking the way this thing drives. It does handle nicely for being like a muscle car, which I would probably say is kind of insane considering like a Civic Type R is going to feel much different than something like Chevelle, which obviously a car like this is most likely going to feel different because, well, it is indeed like a big heavy muscle car that's rear wheel drive, and that's going to be like a sporty car that's front wheel drive. So if they felt the same, that would most likely be insanely disappointing. But I have to give it to Ubisoft. Like, a lot of these vehicles really do feel great and or feel different than each other. But overall, guys, I have to admit, being a 4-speed now, I was not a big fan of these cars at all on the Crew 2. Like, I did not like the way they shifted. Sometimes they had really bad acceleration, and to be honest, they were just kind of terrible. I also knew why nobody actually drove them, but here on Motorfest, I really do feel like it's going to be a different story because these cars not only accelerate better, I like the way they actually shift, and it does kind of feel like a classic type of shifting. And of course, the Street Tier 1 are now going to be in their own category, so you don't have to worry about racing like a Lamborghini, so that really is going to make it that much better. And now, guys, even though these cars, let's say this thing might be slightly slower than like the Civic, I would still easily say there's by far going to be a place for both vehicles in basically any event, and you don't necessarily have to be like the fastest car in there. Now, if you do want to break some records, I would definitely say some cars might be better than others, but even something like the Chevelle here can easily compete in like a Summit. Overall though, guys, I have to admit my final thoughts on the Chevelle, I really do like this car. Plus, look at this cool piece of detail. I did not even realize the vent actually came up on this thing, but I really do like the way this car does drive, guys. It is going to be a great vehicle to use in the Street Tier 1. Not only is it going to be a 4-speed, but it does actually feel like a classic car, which I would say is going to be an insanely important thing, especially in like a racing game. So if vehicles might feel the same, which sometimes they really did feel kind of similar in like the Crew 2, so seeing that you can drive something different like the Chevelle, and it is indeed going to feel like an actual different car, is awesome. But I would like to know your thoughts on the Chevelle in the comments below, guys. What is your favorite classic muscle car and why? I really do feel like there's going to be a ton of different answers there, but if I had to pick one vehicle, it would most likely be between like a Chevelle and or maybe like an old Challenger and or an old Charger. I love those. Also, the Plymouth Barracuda is beautiful. As always, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.